The Kritzkrieg is one of the most fun, most game-changing, and most poorly used weapons in all of Team Fortress 2. Simply put, it gives you crits. That's it. There's no invulnerability, no clutch saves, just raw, unfiltered critical damage. And yet, you'll see medics popping it mid-fight, going into full uber pushes like it's some divine win button. It's not. But when used right, it's one of the strongest tools in the game. In this short, hopefully less than 5-minute guide, but we'll see how long that works, this is how to Kritzkrieg. It's a full breakdown of what it is, who to use it on, when to use it, and when it's never a good choice. What is the Kritzkrieg? The Kritzkrieg is a medigun that charges the Uber 25% faster than stock. Sounds great, right? But here's the kicker. Instead of giving your target invulnerability, it gives them 100% critical hits for 8 seconds. So rather than protecting them from damage, you're gambling that they'll kill everything before they get killed. The weapon is built for offense. You use it to start fights, delete teams, and catch enemies off guard. But if you try to counter a stock Uber with it, you're gonna lose. Every time. There's a reason I've heard people call it the Kritzkrieg. If you're popping it with no plan, no angle, and no coordination, you're not playing medic effectively. There's a golden rule to using the Kritzkrieg, and that is that the charge is preemptive. You're going to use it to break stalemates, to punish overextensions, and to snowball after a successful push or capture. However, how this differs from the standard Uber charge is that you can't use it to counter basic Uber, and you can't use it to save someone mid-fight. This is why it's most effective when used before or entering a fight. Having that advantage, that angle of surprise, really makes the Uber on the Kritzkrieg one of the best in the game. Timing matters on the Kritzkrieg, alright? Too early, and they'll run. Too late, and your patient's already dead. If you hit it at the right moment, that fight is as good as done. Of course, not every class is made evenly. When you pop Uber with the Kritzkrieg, you should be prioritizing your soldiers, your heavies, and your demos. Because soldiers are almost always going to get a kill, at least a couple kills with Uber. Heavies consistent. Most heavies can really hit their shots. It's a really basic skill. Demo more involves hitting your pipes, but it's still relatively reliable, especially if you have even at least a mediocre demo. Pyro isn't as great with Uber because the amount of items Pyro has that already grant him crits on a hit, right? Like stuff like the Flog and the Flare guns are going to guarantee crits under specific, scenarios, which makes it not as great to use, but it can still have some reliable use, especially getting people off the cart, getting people off points, ambushes. Sniper, because Sniper, as long as he hits a hand, he gets at least 150, you really should not be wasting your time charging snipers. But certain things, maybe Bushwhacker, Girardi, it's really not recommended, I would say. And everyone else, it's not worth it. Engineer's got the Frontier Justice if he wants guaranteed crits. Spy is Spy. You shouldn't really ever be healing Spy as a frontline. And Scout is kind of with the same deal. However, there is one mode where the Kritzkrieg is the king of kings. Man versus machine. In VM, you're obviously not fighting people, you're fighting robots, right? So pairing this with a demo, a heavy, a soldier, or a pyro, and upgrading your Uber rate, getting a projectile shield, basically removes the entire downside of the Kritzkrieg in the first place, having no invincibility. The Kritzkrieg is perfect for shredding tanks, for shredding large groups of scouts, shredding large robots. It's one of the best weapons in the game. You genuinely should not be using anything else. Make sure you're communicating while using the Kritzkrieg, letting your people know that, hey, I have crits, I've popped them. That lets you start these formations. And I know, pubs aren't the greatest on communication, but at least letting them know gets that off your back, so you can feel superior and better to people, right? That's wonderful. We all love feeling that, right? Make sure you're using corners and flanking and elevation, right? To tap into that ambush factor that Kritzkrieg has, right? And using it on defense, I would never advise using it on defense. Please, just use stock, just use the Vaccinator, anything other than the Kritzkrieg on the defense. Yeah, this is a new thing for me. I'm trying. We're gonna see if it's fun. It was fun to make. If y'all like it, I'll make more. I've got plans for a gunslinger one and one for the bonk. But other than that, I think that's about it. It's been fun. And bye-bye.